I am a man who has never tied his own shoes before.
Wrong. You are a prince who has never tied his shoes. Believe me, I tied my own shoes once. It is an overrated experience.
Thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments, and keep and do them, that the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto thy fathers. And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn and thy wine and thine oil, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep, and the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee. If thou shalt say in thine heart, These nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt, the great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out. So shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them, until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible. And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee.
Help me! The Israelites are...
But the Lord thy God shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into thine hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou hast destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
This never ends. We're worked to the bone. I can't take much more. Why did God make us Edomites? I hate my life.
You are nothing to me. You are nothing to the Lord. You're nothing but an Edomite. You are nothing to me. You are nothing to the Lord. You're nothing but an Edomite.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakodash, and dumb honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful they got there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. So what I want to get into today, this morning, news and prophecy, the man of sin, all right, which is Esau, Edom, and Baal, will be confounded, because ever since, the whole Epstein thing, all right, showing you that the Most High has these devils in such a trick bag, because the things that they're doing, to cause distraction and division, okay, is also backfiring against them to where they're being called out, all right, for what they really are, okay? And this system, okay, westernization, this Western system, this beast government that runs the earth, all right, well, these people, all right, they come in the spirit of Baal, which is nothing but Satanism, okay? But you go into the ancient, you go into the ancient Canaanites, all right, and they was big on Baal worship, okay, and the wickedness, that was the most wicked, you know, um, idolatry, okay, recorded in the scriptures was the idolatry connected to Baal, which you got Molech, okay, the sacrificing of children, okay, then you had Ashtaroth, that queen of heaven spirit, okay, then you have Baal, okay, which these was very demonic, lewd, the sexual magic, all that went into Baal, which Esau embodies that today. I did a lesson on it last night, and also the Eliasha Wamba, sent the video, and he went into it as well, and I want to expound on it too, to really go into the spirit of Canaan that's on Esau today, and the history between Esau and Canaan, okay, and the wickedness, all right, that we see today goes back to that ancient wickedness, man. Okay, and the Lord is revealing this man right before he judges. Okay, so the planet Earth is seeing, all right, the wickedness of Esau, Edom. Okay, just as the brother put, this man is on Esau is on the main stage. He's on the stand and being interrogated. All right, and Yahweh Bashim al Shah, the judge. Well, he's on the stand being interrogated, man, and all this evidence is being revealed against this man. Okay, and the Lord is orchestrating this war. We're gonna go into that little war talk. All right, the Lord is orchestrating this war because He's gonna judge Esau in this war. He's gonna judge all these heathens, man, and He's gonna end, all right, this kingdom of Baal, okay, in this third world's war. Okay, and everyone has their marching order doing exactly what the Lord said that they will be doing. Okay, so just the brother Ashba 144, Ecclesiastes 1:9, it said the thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, so what we're seeing, is the modern Baal, okay, the modern worship of Baal under the government of Esau Edom, this beast system. Okay, this is nothing new. You see? And the Lord is getting ready to judge this thing, all right, on the global scale. And before he judges on the global scale, this devil is being revealed on the global scale. All right, so let's go here to a few precepts and then I want to go into a few videos. All right, this is let's go here. This the book. All right, Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 21. It says you can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. So we're seeing the will of the Lord prevailing in the earth. Esau got all these plans and schemes, and he got this agenda going and that agenda going. He got this going over here and this over there. But ultimately, it's all playing into the purpose of Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's why everything that we're seeing Esau do, it's only putting him closer to his destruction, man, his judgment. You see, everything that this devil is doing is now just putting him closer to the end of his kingdom and the beginning of his captivity. Okay, nothing that this devil is doing is going to forward him past, all right, the appointed time, the appointed bounds that the Lord got on this nigga, man. Nothing he's doing is pushing him past it. All right, he's doing the opposite. It's just bringing him to that time, all right, sooner. Okay, so what we're seeing is the will and the purpose of Yahweh Bashim Shai play out in the earth. Okay, so I want to get a few more precepts because these alliances that we're seeing, all right, with these military that's opposing the West, mainly America and the small hats, because ultimately just America and the small hats that represent the West, all right, militarily, because these EU nations, they a non-factor. Okay, the most I bringing these big boys out, all right, Russia, China, Iran, you see, America, all right, and then amongst that, these small heads, they just some dweebs. They just happen to be tagging along with America, man. Okay, well, they trash as well. But the West is mainly represented by America and these small hats, man. Militarily, spiritually. Okay, the West is represented by these two, main banners. All right, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, and these imposters, man, Amalek. Okay, and the Lord is forming a military alliance to come against that, man. To begin to begin the destruction of the West. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is coming to finish it off. So when you get Isaiah 21, it speaks about a certain alliance. Okay, this is Isaiah 21:2. It says, "I see a terrifying vision. I see the betrayer betraying, and the destroyer destroy," and that's America. And America has went on, this streak, all right, of just terrorizing the earth, man, with its military and with its economy. With its military might and its economic might, America had just been going forth and destroying, okay, and terrorizing the earth, man. You see, it says, "Go ahead, you Elamites and Medes." And Elamites is speaking of Persia, and Medes is speaking of Russia. Now, in the ancient world, you had the Medo-Persian Empire, where the Medes were originally a Japhetic people, okay? But in prophecies, all right, prophetically speaking of the Medes is speaking of Russia today, okay? Magog, you see? And Elam is speaking of those same people, those Persians, all right? So go ahead, ye Elamites and Medes. So this, all right, duo now consists of the Russians, okay, and the Persians, all right, which is Iran. All right. So this tight military alliance that Russia and Iran share is biblical prophecy, man. This is a decree. Okay. The Lord gave both of them a decree to be allies, man. And we're seeing they're tighter than ever. Okay. Russia and Iran are more lockstep than ever, man. Okay. And it says, "Go ahead, you Elamites and Medes, attack and lay siege. I will make an end to all the groaning Babylon has caused." Okay, because there no more. All right, there's no more going to the UN and just complaining about America, man. They're booting up militarily now. Okay, Russia and China, which China plays into the kings of the East. Okay, they're booting up to go to war. Okay, they're supplying Iran with heavy military hardware. Okay, and it's gonna get to the point that Russia and China gonna have to get directly involved in this conflict, man. Okay, that's how much of a ripple effect this conflict is going to have between America and Iran. Is that it's going to spill over into a regional war, then a world war. Okay, And it's a spirit that Iran is speaking about what making it a regional war immediately. Jumping way up the escalation ladder, man. And it's the spirit of the Lord, man. Prophecy is happening, man. The Lord got this thing aligned perfectly, man. Okay, this is our power, okay, making moves in the earth on the behalf of his remnant, his elect, on behalf of his name's sake, man, on the behalf of righteousness. So we're seeing these things align perfectly, man. Okay, and the Lord finna put an end to all the groaning Babylon has caused, man, of being a terror in the earth, man. All right, the hammer is going to be broken. Okay, so let's go from there. Um, I want to get let's get this real quick as well in Revelation. All right, so you get Revelation 16. All right, this is Revelation 16 and 12. It said the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great Euphrates River, and it dried up so that the kings of the east could march their armies towards the west without hindrance, man. So these kings of the east are being roused up to come farther west. Okay, and they're going to make their way to the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, and this conflict, okay, with America, these small hats in Iran, well, it's going to draw these kings of the east to come west. Okay, and eventually they're going to come to the land of Jehoshaphat, where Yahweh Shai, all right, he's going to enter the arena. Okay, so everything that we're seeing, okay, is playing out exactly how the Lord, said it would. Everyone is dancing to the tune of prophecy, man. Okay, whether you are a nuclear superpower, okay, or just a random nigga on TikTok scoffing, everybody is dancing to the tune of prophecy, man, and playing their part. Nothing is going off script, man. And this is the wisdom and knowledge that should be the stability of our times, because as we see these things happening, that puts people in panic mode, puts people in fear, makes people depressed and anxious. Well, it gives us hope. It gives us faith. It's a faith booster for us. The same information that destabilizes the minds of the masses, it stabilizes us, man. Because we know that these things must be, and we know what it's leading to, man. And we know that we have all right provisions already provided, man. The Lord gonna make a way, in the midst of all this, man. So let's go from there. I want to get one more and then show you. Then we'll go into the news and see how these things are lining up, perfectly. Okay, as the scripture said they would. So you go here, you go to Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Okay, this is Second Ezra 15 and 28. It says, "Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. That it said that all they which hear them may fear and tremble." Okay, so now what we're seeing in this prophecy is these Gulf Arab states, okay, becoming aggressive. You see, and who they're going to be aggressive towards? The West, man. For the longest they've relied on, America for security. Okay, America's markets. They've enriched themselves off of these Western markets. All this oil money wouldn't be possible without American, all right, and these Western markets to sell it in. Okay, so for the longest they benefited from the whore off the beast. Okay, but now we're coming to a time, all right, where they're going to flip. You see, in this conflict now with the small hats, okay, America and Iran is causing these Gulf nations to look elsewhere for security, because now the they see America as a liability, okay? Because this conflict with Iran is putting them, okay, in the middle of a shootout between Iran and America, okay, to where that infrastructure now is on the table. You see, and that's a strategic move by Iran because it puts pressure on these Gulf Arab states to break ties, all right, with America. You know, now their relationship with America is looking more like a liability than, all right, an investment, okay, than the asset. You know, and it's the Lord that's playing these things out, man. Okay, according to His will. Verse 30. Also, the Carmanians, which is the Iranians, raging the wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power, all right, shall they come and join battle with them. Okay, the alliance between Iran and these Gulf Arab states, man, these Ishmaelites, Elam and Ishmael, man. Okay, that's going to be an alliance against the whore, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, man. Was just referring to America in this context. Okay, because America is likened to the Syrians, which the Syrians was known for what? Being a mighty military, man. You know, even the Romans took, particular tactics from the Assyrians. Okay, so America, which is Rome revived, is also likened unto Assyria, man. Okay, and America's military footprint are over there in the what they call the Middle East, which is Western Asia. Okay, hey, that's gonna be destroyed. Okay, and Iran and Iran, all right, is being supplied with all the weaponry needed to bring this to pass. Okay, and these Gulf Arab states are looking, to the alliance of China, Russia, and Iran, all right, for security now, and also for economic deals. Okay, so let's read verse 31. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right. You see that? So these are Gulf Arab states, they're going to be used, okay, to ally with Iran to further, all right, destroy, all right, the whore Babylon, man. You see, so it's finna go real bad for America, according to prophecy, man. All right, and all these alliances are happening as we speak. So let's go back here and let's go into this article first. Dealing with these. So I said, are these Gulf Arab states reaching out to China and Russia? It said Gulf Arab states are aggressively pivoting toward China and Russia, deepening, which are the kings of the East, deepening economic security, which is military, all right, and diplomatic ties to advance a non-aligned multipolar foreign policies. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are expanding BRICS, okay, and the SCO, which is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, okay. It said the SCO involvement, which Iran is in that, it says inking deals in defense, technology, and energy with Beijing and Moscow while maintaining traditional U.S. security partnerships. Okay, so right now these Gulf Arab states are playing both sides. Okay, but according to prophecy, we know they're going to sway. Okay, in the way of China, Iran, and Russia. Okay, so they're already making links. It's already segueing. They're already segueing from America to Russia, China, and Iran. Okay, so you can look more into that. All right, but just wanted to show, all right, that everything is happening and lining up exactly how prophecy said it would. And this all just shows that He is. Okay, the things that we're reading. That's why it's just a living book. If a brother can post that, wherever the word of a king, there is power. I believe it's in Proverbs. Wherever the word of a king, there's power. And it shows you the power in the words of this book because it's the words of a great king. How about Shema Shai? Okay, so if we can read, all right, the Bible and look up real time and see these things happening, it shows you the power of these words, man. You know, so let's go here. I got this video. All right, so let's deal with Russia. All right, let's deal with Russia and Iran. Okay.
Is Russia quietly stepping into a potential US-Iran conflict? As tensions rise in the Middle East, Russian military cargo planes are flying steady missions into Iran, delivering advanced Mi-28 attack helicopters. At the same time, the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln is conducting mass casualty drills in the Arabian Sea, and nuclear talks between Washington and Tehran hang in the balance. Coincidence or preparation? Let's break it down. Over the past several weeks, Russian Ilyushin Il-76 cargo aircraft have been maintaining what analysts describe as a quiet air bridge to Iran. Photos and open-source intelligence show newly delivered Mi-28 attack helicopters at Tehran's Merabat airport, some in Iranian desert camouflage, others spotted on test flights over the capital. These aren't light utility helicopters. The Mi-28, known in NATO circles as the Havoc, is a heavily armed all-weather attack helicopter designed for anti-armor warfare and close air support. It can carry up to 16 anti-tank guided missiles, dozens of rockets, a 30mm automatic cannon, advanced radar, and self-protection systems. Some reports even claim these helicopters meet full Russian military specifications, not downgraded export versions.
And that's heavy, if that's true, because, when nations like America, these EU nations sell, all right, weapons, okay, or military, all right, hardware to these other nations where they don't give them like the F-16s that America sells to, the Saudis and, the UAE. Those are not the same F-16s that American military has. It's a watered down version. All right, they still deadly. They still get down. All right, but it's not the version that American military has. Okay, so they're saying that Russia is giving, is giving Iran, all right, the same military grade that they got. They got those speculation, and that's heavy. Okay, was this Russia fulfilling prophecy? And be thou a guard unto them. Okay, dealing with Ezekiel 38. Okay.
If true, that would signal a deep level of military trust between Moscow and Tehran. The deliveries stem from a broader arms deal announced in 2023 that included Su-35 fighter jets, Yak-130 trainers, and Mi-28 helicopters. But the timing matters. These transfers are accelerating as nuclear negotiations between the US and Iran remain fragile, the regional tensions are high, and the US has increased its military readiness posture. Meanwhile, Iran says it's willing to compromise in nuclear talks, but only if sanctions relief is seriously discussed. US officials argue Iran is the one delaying progress. The diplomatic standoff continues. Now, look at the American side. The USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, conducted mass casualty drills while deployed in the Arabian Sea under US Central Command. Mass casualty drills are serious business. They simulate large-scale battle damage and multiple injured personnel scenarios. In simple terms, preparation for worst-case outcomes. While Washington says it prefers a diplomatic solution, the military is clearly maintaining readiness. So, is Russia preparing to support Iran in a potential conflict with the United States or Israel? Officially, Moscow is simply fulfilling arms contracts, but strategically, this does several things. It strengthens Iran's conventional strike capabilities, it complicates Israeli or US military planning, it signals that Iran is not isolated. And remember, Iran has supplied Russia with drones and weapons for use in Ukraine. This military partnership goes both ways. The arrival of Mi 28 attack helicopters enhances Iran's ability to conduct close air support, border defense, and potentially respond to regional threats. So, is Russia joining a US Iran war? Not directly, but by strengthening Iran's military capabilities at this critical moment, Moscow is clearly shaping the battlefield before any shots are fired.
Yeah, man. So you see, the alliance with Iran and Russia is only growing stronger in the midst of, these high tensions between Iran and America, man. Okay. And it just shows you as let me get this other video up as well. Then we get the precept. Okay. But yeah, so it just shows you that, you know, the scriptures are dictating reality. Okay. The scriptures dictate reality. People think, all right, that things are just randomly happening and, they can try to explain it this way because we can get into the geopolitical aspect, but ultimately, all right, it's the scriptures that control reality, man. You know, the scriptures dictate what happens in the earth. So understanding the scriptures gives us the ability to understand what's finna happen in the earth, man. You know, that's why a brother can post that too in Sirach chapter 18, verse 20, Bible Sirach chapter 18 and 20. Let's get that as well. All right, but this is the beloved brother, all right, Elder Hawad. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 8 and 4, and it says, where the word of a king is, there is power, and who may say unto him, what doest thou? And the word of the king is the scriptures. Okay? Or the scriptures say, well, behold, I come in the volume of the book, speaking of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so when we go into the scriptures, man, we're reading the decrees of the king. All right, these ain't no suggestions. Prophecies is not a suggestion. Prophecy is decrees. And that's why we understand the prophecies. We understand the will of the Lord more and more. Okay? We understand the will of the Lord, more and more. You see? So the more thorough understanding we have of prophecy, the more we understand the Lord's will, and the more faith we have, man. Because especially when we see these things happening, man. Hey, Salaki, bro. I meant to say Sirach 18 and 20, Bible Shah, Sirach 18 and 20. Okay, and also what's that? Sirach 39 and 1 as well, Bible Shah, bro. This is a brother. GMS North Carolina 777. All right, the beloved Elder Hawaii again. Isaiah 49 and 2. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things I do declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you them. Okay, and see, as we're occupied in prophecy, okay, and we're having a thorough understanding of prophecy, when we see these things happen, man, we should have a rejoicing spirit. We should be rejoicing. You know why I said, what the hell could we be sad about or depressed about or disappointed about when these prophecies has happened? Okay, what the hell should we be disappointed about? All right. What the hell could we be sad or depressed about? And we see these prophecies happen in real time, man. Exactly how the Lord said they will happen. Because if this is true, then we finna be immortal. The remnant finna be immortal. We finna be in rulership. We finna reign with Yahweh Shai forever. What the hell could we be disappointed about on this side, man? Ain't nothing to be disappointed about. We up. You see, when you tap into prophecy, we up. When you check the scoreboard according to prophecy, we up. The scoreboard of this world, it look like we down. But when you look at the scoreboard with prophecy, we up. You know? You see? Let's go here. It said this Sirach 18 and 20 says, before judgment, examine thyself. This is a brother Israelite seeking righteousness. And in the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. And how do we know when the day of visitation is close? Through prophecy. Okay, we know the day of visitation is close through prophecy, man. You see? And this is why the Spirit has us what? Occupied in these things. Sirach 39 and 1, it says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies, man. See, we're occupied in these prophecies, so we know how it go. And when we see these prophecies happening, man, we rejoice in the Spirit. We up. Esau down. Esau finna lose. It looked like Esau up, man, if you look from a carnal eye. Okay? But in the spirit, nah, man, we up. Okay? Prophetically, we up, man. Esau, he's fighting, he's coming, he's having to climb a hill. He's fighting from behind. Okay? He's behind the gun. You see? These things, hey, the Lord has everything right on time, right on point, man. You know, a brother can get that also in Romans 8 and 28. Okay, this is another one from the beloved brother Elder White. This is Rock 25 and 7 said, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man to have joy of his children, and he that live to see the fall of his enemy, man. And we're seeing this nigga fall, man. And we're seeing the military alliance that's being formed that's going to tear the top out of Babylon, man. Okay? They're going to tear the top out of Babylon whenever they lock up for war, man. Okay? America is done. It's over. Everything about America is over. The American culture, American people, these stupid ass arguments. Okay? Everything that America has, all right, established in the earth, man, is over. Okay? We're just watching this place fall. We're watching the fall. Okay? It's in the process of falling. Okay? It's just a matter of time. Let's play this real quick. So this is what China got going on with Iran. Okay?
A tense new claim is raising alarms across the Middle East. Reports suggest Iran may have received advanced Chinese-made Dongfeng 17 missiles, potentially boosting its ability to counter U.S. forces. The DF-17 is a hypersonic-capable missile designed to evade modern missile defenses, making it one of the most sophisticated weapons in China's arsenal. Analysts say even the possibility of such transfers would dramatically change the strategic balance, turn Iran's deterrence into a far more formidable threat. While independent confirmation remains unclear, the allegation alone is fueling fears of a widening geopolitical confrontation. The Dongfeng 17 is built to deploy a hypersonic glide vehicle, a weapon capable of maneuvering unpredictably at extreme speeds, making interception difficult. Defense analysts have long warned that such systems are designed to defeat conventional missile shields and complicate U.S. naval and air operations. If Iran were to acquire even limited numbers, it could strengthen its anti-access strategy in the Gulf, potentially threatening U.S. bases, shipping lanes, and allied infrastructure. For Washington, the possibility of Chinese technology bolstering Tehran's arsenal would represent a serious escalation. These reports surface as U.S. officials acknowledge preparations for sustained military operations against Iran should President Donald Trump authorize an attack. Planning reportedly includes multiple strike waves, defensive responses to Iranian retaliation, and the possibility of prolonged confrontation. The Pentagon is already reinforcing its regional posture, signaling that Washington is preparing not just for a limited strike, but for a broader campaign if diplomacy collapses. President Trump says the deployment ensures the United States will be ready if we need it, even as talks with Iran continue. The buildup suggests Washington wants maximum leverage and the ability to strike rapidly if negotiations fail. Trump has gone further, openly suggesting that regime change in Iran would be the best thing that could happen. He says decades of negotiations have achieved little and warns that failure to reach a nuclear deal could bring consequences worse than last year's strikes. Tehran, meanwhile, has vowed to retaliate if attacked, meaning any conflict could escalate quickly into a regional war involving multiple fronts. If Chinese weapons are indeed flowing toward Iran, the confrontation would no longer be just a US Iran crisis. It would become part of the wider strategic rivalry between Washington and Beijing. Analysts warn that even indirect military cooperation could deepen divisions between global powers and complicate diplomatic efforts. Tonight, the combination of missile rumors, carrier deployments, and nuclear brinkmanship paints a stark picture. The Middle East is becoming the stage for a confrontation that may stretch far beyond the region itself.
Exactly right. Okay, it's gonna go from a bilateral conflict, to a regional conflict extremely quick. All right, and China is scrapping Iran down as well. Okay, and we're gonna see. We still waiting on Trump. He been talking tough for a month straight. Okay, so he gonna have to bring some ass over there, man. Okay, because also too, because I remember brothers used to bring this out all the time, because those Dun Fang series ballistic missiles with China. All right, but they pouring into Iran. They just pouring all type of weaponry, into Iran because it's prophetic. It's that time. It's that time, man. Okay, this one gonna be, we don't know when, but this one gonna be different. It's a lot of build up. This one gonna be different. A lot of times, we thought like, okay, this gonna be it. But this one here, the way that these nations are being drawn into these superpowers, because remember, these are the most powerful militaries on the earth, okay, that's directly involved in this one conflict. Russia, China, and America, okay, those three are the top three militaries in the earth. Iran, and the way that they arming Iran now, Iran is shooting up the ranks quickly. Okay. Hey, every month Iran is getting stronger. Every week it go by, Iran is getting stronger because they got a purpose according to prophecy, man. Now um when you go into but the MOTB will be made mandate first before this war goes nuclear. Okay. Now we could see some exchanges, okay, and they go to an off ramp. You see, well, think this is this the if they lock up in any capacity, man, it's gonna be this shit here gonna make some noise, man. Okay, it's gonna be something to talk about. All right, but it says so the Dong Fang primarily means east wind. Okay, east wind. All right. It says in Mandarin Chinese, symbolizing spring, vitality, and good fortune. It is famously used for Chinese Dongfeng Motor Corporation, a major automaker, and the Dongfeng series of ballistic missiles. Okay. Now I want to go here. It says, listen to this cultural significance of the Dongfeng. often associated with positive connotations, and it's positive connotations for us, for the elect of Israel, favorable directions and new beginnings. You see, because this war is going to establish a new beginning. It's going to be mark the beginning of Yahweh Shai establishing righteousness in the earth, man. Okay, the beginning of the kingdom of Israel under Yahweh Shai. Okay, so that Dong Fang is often associated with positive connotations, favorable directions, and new beginnings. Okay, because these are the ballistic missiles that China, all right, that they're going to put their nuclear warheads on and sent to America, man. Okay, but it's speculated that they've given some of these ballistic missiles to Iran. Okay, and America is going to find out all these speculation the hard way, man. You know, so it goes into east wind. All right, that destroying wind, that wind from the east, man. You see, and this is the Lord. Remember, this is the Lord's armory. The brother can post that. You know, what's that? Uh, Jeremiah 50:25. The Lord opening up His armory. Yep, yeah, that's that. Yep, that's it. That's the brother. Elder Hawaii, GMS North Carolina 777. 2 Peter 3:13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promises, look for new heavens and the new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. Okay, a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. Okay, the new beginning. And this war is going to be, because when Ezra asked what should be the dividing of the times, well, this war is going to be the dividing of the times. It's going to separate the world of the Gentiles, the heathens, okay, in the world and the age of Israel. Okay, so this war that's going to divide the times from, all right, this old age to the new age of Israel. Okay, well, the brother can post that as well. What's that? That's Jeremiah 50:25. I think it's another one. And Jeremiah talk about that destroying wind. We used to get that all the time as well. You know. So let's get that. Let's get this in it might be 51 and Jeremiah 51. Yeah, Jeremiah 51 verses 1. Yeah, let's get Jeremiah 51 verses 1 through 3, Bible Kashah. Okay. Um I'm gonna go ahead and segue to this, get this other video pulled up. Get some of y'all brothers precepts, man. So let's go. What's the last video? I got one more. Yep. So let's get this is your brother Ataza one hopeful elect 144, Jeremiah 15:25. It says, the Lord Yahweh Bashem al Shai have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So the Lord has opened up his armory, man. Okay, the armory of the Lord is open. You see, this is the Lord's weapon and his indignation. That's why they're so powerful. Okay, because these are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. This is why these weapons have so much destructive power, because it's the Lord, okay, that brought these weapons to pass, man. Okay, he allowed Esau to tap into, okay, nuclear physics. Okay, because Esau ain't great. All right, and just the Lord got this nigga propped up. Okay, so let's get this as well. and then we'll go into the next video. So let's go into Jeremiah 51:1. It said, "Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against the Chaldeans and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind." And that's these nuclear missiles, man. All right, that Don Fane, the east wind. All right, and spiritually goes into what that new beginning. Okay, because this nuclear war is going to mark a new beginning, a new age in the earth, man. You see? So everyone that's being rebellious to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, well, he has this destruction prepared. He has this east wind, this destroying wind. Okay, prepare for these devils, man, and prepare for all these rebels against Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, because Esau has, you know, provoked a global rebellion against the Most High. Okay, and there's a punishment for that, and it says, "And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble, okay, they shall be against her round about." Yeah, so these missiles are coming to empty this place out, man. You know, the Lord is sending all this nuclear destruction to the land mass of America to empty this place out. Okay, if you're not of the elect on those chariots, man, you're going to be emptied out, man. Okay, the Lord finna empty this bitch out, man. You know, and and see, these things are already in place. The missiles are already in place. Okay, and more missiles are being moved around to fulfill the will of the Lord, man. Okay, they have the technology to get here in no time. Okay, to get here 20-25 minutes, man. You see, Jeremiah 51:3 says, "Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow." Everybody got nuclear capability, man. So the Lord is giving the order. Everybody got nuclear capability. Aim at Babylon. So every nation that has nuclear missiles are going to shoot their missiles at Babylon, man. Thus said the Lord. Okay, and against him that lifted himself up in his Bridgerton, all right, which America boasts itself in his military might, okay, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, man. So America is done. Military is civilian population. America is done. America out of here. Okay, all right, pack America up. You know, like that Jake that be talking to them sports. I forgot the Jake name. You know, y'all brothers might know him. You know, when he be talking about them different sports teams when they get put out the playoff and niggas on pack them Giants up, okay, or pack them Cowboys up, man. Nigga, pack America up, man. Okay, they done. You see, and let's so I'm from the segue to over there in Iran, you know, that was burning the statues of Baal and making mockery, okay, of the West, okay, because of the whole Epstein thing. You see, and see, America is looking shameful, man. A brother can put that out, spew shameful, spewing on her glory. Okay, let's get that one, and let's get Jeremiah 50:2 as well to go with this video. You know, so let's play this. All right, and this shows you that, you know, America's being called the man of sin is revealed. Okay, the nigga of iniquity has been revealed, man. Okay, even these heathens, which Islam is idolatry as well. Okay, but the custom they come with, you know, the coming, because you know the higher up you get into these false religions, the more satanic you get. Okay, but Islam is a false doctrine. Okay, but now you just meet a, you know, a cool Islamic, you know, you might have an East Indian restaurant, you might go to, you know, Mediterranean spot, Elam, or, you know, some of them be Jake too, but Elam or Ishmael, they be cool. Okay, you can kick it with them. You know, I know I'm cool with a few of them, but See, Baal, this is on a whole nother level. You see, Baal, this wickedness is on a whole nother level of wickedness, man. All right, what Esau was on, what these Edomites on, to even other pagans is like, God damn. You see, even other pagans, you go to Baal, it's like, God damn, nigga. So let's play this. All right, and America's exposed, and the Lord is causing all this exposure to come out. Okay, before this devil is judged. So it's not going to be a secret why America is turned into a desert. There's not going to have to be nothing that's explained. Okay, in the kingdom, everybody's going to know why America was judged like it was judged, man, and why Esau, okay, is going to be judged, and he's going to be the tail in the kingdom. Okay, it's not going to have to be explained, man. Okay.
Flames rise in Tehran as a horned figure burns in the heart of revolution rallies. Why were statues of the ancient deity Baal set alight across Iran? From biblical symbolism to modern conspiracy theories, this fiery spectacle is about far more than history. Iranian state-organized rallies marking the anniversary of Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution took an unusual turn this week as demonstrators in several cities set fire to large statues depicting a horned bull-headed figure identified by organizers as Baal, an ancient deity referenced in biblical and Islamic tradition. According to Iranian media, the coordinated burnings were framed as a symbolic protest against what organizers described as moral corruption in the West. Some of the events were reported to have taken place simultaneously in different cities. Images circulated online showed a towering bull-headed effigy engulfed in flames in Tehran's Azadi Square. In some instances, the displays included additional imagery, such as the number 666, and references to US President Donald Trump. Participants were heard chanting "Death to Israel" and "Death to America," slogans commonly heard at official anniversary gatherings. Iranian news agency Mehr described the effigy as the idol of Baal, portraying it as a false god associated with deviation from monotheism. Online speculation linked Epstein to ancient deities such as Baal or Moloch, figures that in some traditions are associated with child sacrifice. Iranian organizers described the statue burning as a symbolic act intended to draw attention to alleged corruption in Western political and financial systems. The anniversary events themselves included the usual displays of anti-US and anti-Israel rhetoric, flag burnings and speeches emphasizing resistance to foreign pressure. State media framed the effigy burnings as a message from Tehran to the wider world. However, the symbolism sparked debate within Iran. Some clerics reportedly expressed concern about invoking imagery tied to ancient deities, while online users questioned whether the act risked unintended religious connotations. The term Baal means lord or owner in ancient Semitic languages. In the ancient Near East, particularly among Canaanite peoples, Baal was worshipped as a fertility and storm deity, often referred to as the Lord of Rain and Dew. Archaeological discoveries at Ugarit, in northwestern Syria in 1928, revealed tablets describing Baal as a warrior god, with Mount Zaphon, believed to be present-day Jebel Akra, on the Syria-Turkey border, identified as his mythological home. In Jewish, Christian, and Islamic texts, Baal is depicted as a false deity and rival to monotheistic worship. The Hebrew Bible presents him as a central rival to Yahweh, particularly during the reign of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. In the New Testament, the name Beelzebub, linked to Baalzebub, appears in references to Satan. Scholars continue to debate the extent of evidence for child sacrifice in parts of the ancient Levant, with interpretations varying widely. In modern Iran, the reappearance of Baal as a symbol reflects less a historical argument and more a contemporary political message, one shaped by ideology, religious imagery, and global conspiracy narratives.
Yeah, man. So the Lord is allowing, shameful spewing on the devil's glory. And he's being called out globally. And this is how the earth is looking at America, man. This is how, the rest of the world views America, man. It's very satanic. All right, especially the leadership of these small hats in America, the American government, you know. So yeah, let's get that also Jeremiah 50 and 2. Okay. Let's get that First John 2 and 18. Okay. First John 5 and 19, as well. Okay. But this the brother GMS prayer always hope for elect. All right. The beloved brother. All right, Corner Waff. Shalom to them North Kakalaki brothers, man. You know. It's Habakkuk 2 and 16, it said, Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. Okay. It says, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory, man. Because there was a time when America was the glory of kingdoms. America looked like there was a time where America was a role model for the rest of the world, you know, how to run a government, how to flourish, okay, as a society. America was a role model at one point, but now America, is being looked at in a very shameful way, because now it's being exposed for what America truly is, and it was always this way. Okay, it just became more and more and more corrupt, and now it's at the forefront because this devil, all right, he's trying to do so many psyops, and he needs distractions that now he has to even, put his own business out, and that's still just a watered down version. The things that they put out, they're still a watered down version of their wickedness, man. Okay, and the beloved brother Eliasha Wamba, he sent me a video going into the Canaanites, a real thorough, informative video. Lord will I can do a lesson on it. All right, and the video pretty lengthy, but it's good. It's worth to watch. So I'll be able to put some on wax with that. And telling you now the video gonna be long as hell. Okay, but I think it'd be worth it. All right. So this brother Taz one hopeful elect 144 Revelation 18 and 5. It said, For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities, man. So America is just doing too much. Esau, he's doing too much, man. He's become a major problem, just like the cries of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, it was too much. Sodom and Gomorrah was just doing too much, man. The Lord had to intervene. Niggas just doing way too much. And America has reached their point. The West, Esau, they reached their point, man. And that's why you see all the preparation for judgment being put in place, man. All right. This is the brother Tyler Warm, hopeful elect, 1 John 2 and 18. Little children, it is the last time, as you have heard, that anti-Messiah shall come. Even now are there many anti-Messiahs, whereby we know that it is the last time, man. And the leadership of the earth is all anti-Messiah. And they push a very anti-Messiah vibration on the masses, man. That's why most people, that's why you get the 1 John 5 and 19. A thousand one hope for elect. It says that we know that we are of the Most High, the remnant, Lord will, we are that number, man. And the whole world lieth in wickedness, man. Because of why? The anti-Messiah leadership. And the devil has enchanted the earth to be in complete rebellion. You see? So this is uh, this is Oh yeah, let me get this one first, and then we end with that Jeremiah. So this is another one from the brother GMS Prayer. I always hope for elect, the brother Corner Waff. It's Nahum 3:5, and it says, "Behold, I am against thee," said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah of hosts, "and I will cover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame." Okay, so now the skirts of America, the whore, is fully up, man, and now people are seeing the filthiness and nastiness. All right, because America has been passed around by the elites. They've dolled up America with the fine clothing. Okay, the hair accessories, and they've been able to dress America up, these elites, and pass her throughout the earth, man, to influence the earth. But now the skirt is lifted, and now you're seeing the filthiness of the whore. Okay, what this place has really been about the whole time. And the Lord's against everything America stands for. Okay, that's why we have to be born again, man, because everything that we learned and that was taught in America as the way to be was off, man. The Lord was against it, man. You see, all of it, man. None of it was right. We had to do particular things, to survive and make it. Okay, but now that we made it to the truth, man, we have to become those new creatures fully, man. You know, so um, let's go here. This is Jeremiah 50:2. It's the among the nations and publish and set up a standard. It's from the brother Israelite seeking righteousness. Okay, and we're the one declaring this among the nation and publishing the standard. That's why we know America and Esau, Edom, they're filthy, they're wicked, because it's according to the standard of the scriptures. They're off, man. Okay, and the ways of the Canaanites was constantly condemned in the Bible, and Esau has made America one big Canaanite freak show, man. Okay, it says, and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Marduk is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces, man. The Lord is breaking it up, man. See, the Lord is confounding, okay, the idols of Babylon, man. You see, because America, all right, it functioned off idolatry and enchantments, man. And in order for Esau's kingdom to function, people have to be enchanted and people have to worship idols. People have to be deceived. But the Lord has awakened the elect that's disturbing, okay, the idols of Babylon. And they're confounding. This word is confounding the idols of Babylon. Okay. So yeah, we'll leave it there. We can always go on and on. But we'll leave it there. I believe the point was made. So Lord will you brothers. All right. And your sister was edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards young brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful Shalom.